Hey Google, how much is 2 quarts in deciliter?
1 U.S. liquid quart is equal to 0.946 cubic decimeter.
Decimeter? Hey Google, how much is 2 liquid quarts in deciliter?
2 U.S. quarts is 1.893 liters.
1.8. Okay. Hello, and welcome to my kitchen. My name, as always, is Gabby. So, today's adventure of making stuff from scratch is ginger beer. I have tried doing this once. It didn't go very well. I mean, it didn't go exactly bad, but there is no carbonation and it's very, very sweet, which means that fermentation hasn't started eating the sugar and therefore it is quite sweet. I did follow a recipe with a ginger bug that I fed and stuff, but it just didn't work out. I might have accidentally killed the bacteria with with quite too hot water. And also I checked some other stuff online and it might have been because it wasn't organic ginger, so it is also maybe like pesticide something that might have removed some good bacteria to make it ferment. So this is the second time around testing this and hopefully it will go better. So what you will need is quite easy, in theory at least. Sugar, ginger, and water. So I found a new recipe that says stuff in grams instead of using like tablespoons. And I always think about that, when they say use 1 cup of flour, but it also depends on how tightly packed stuff are. How correct is 1 cup of flour? Anyway, that's not the point for this. So we will need 22 grams of ginger, and I'm using my kitchen scale, and some organic ginger that I bought at my local ICA. And now I shall find, and it is not 425 grams. There you go, that is 18. That's it. 35. Oh my god, how hard can this be? How hard can it be to get 22 grams of ginger? Yeah, 23. Close enough. This is not science. Well, okay. It's a little bit like science. There you go. So this needs to be washed. And then it says grated, and the skin on is fine. So the point with this is to start a bacteria culture that you then add more water, sugar and ginger to, that initiates the carbonization, which is made by fermenting, because then the bacteria will eat the sugar and release gas that therefore is carbonation. So that is at least the science behind this. Now we just need to make the science happen. And this is the first step. Yeah, it's a little piece. You can't grate everything, Like when you hold something, you need to have something to hold up, otherwise you'll just shave your fingers. I've done that a couple of times. It's horrible. It's gnarly. Anyway. And then you also need to store this somewhere in a jar that is covered by a towel. And I need the fetch a jar because I don't have one. Let's see. A clean jar, it is important because you want to ferment the stuff that you put in the jar and not the stuff that already was in the jar. if you know what I mean, as in the dirt inside of it. So here is 23 grams of ginger. And then I need 28 grams of sugar. My kitchen scale again. There you go. I can do like these and like these. How ballsy am I today? Not very. Oh. So how are you guys doing? You're surviving? I'm also surviving. I mean, I'm just sitting at home watching a lot of cooking channels. That's 38 when it should be 20. No, it's 30 when it should be 28. That's and then 500, I can read today, I know how to read, 500 milliliters of water. Stockholm's finest tap water. I say that a bit as a joke because I bought this really nice Swedish gin from Stockholms Bryggerier, and the back side of it, I mean the flask itself, it looks very hipster, but then the flask itself says that it's blended with Stockholm's finest tap water, and I just find it so amusing, and this won't fit. Excellent, excellent planning skills, Gabby, excellent, excellent. What is happening? I don't know what's happening. Well, I guess I will take this one then. So now I have upgraded to a very much bigger vessel. Boop. And I will probably spill this everywhere, won't I? And there's a lot of sugar in the bottom. Of course, everything is going great today. How's your day doing? I actually talked to my friend Julia today. It was really nice. We talked about Dungeons and Dragons because we're nerds. It was nice. And it's important to try to talk to each other even though you're not allowed to see each other. It's so weird. It's weird. And there you go. I will cover this with a towel and I will feed it the same amount of ginger and sugar every day as I put in today. It's about 22 grams of ginger and 28 grams of sugar. And I will hopefully start to see some bubbling, which means that it has started to ferment. And in a couple of days, I can add more water, more sugar, more ginger, and I will have ginger ale that I can enjoy cold on my sunny balcony. That will be amazing. Bye. So it's been a week. I've been feeding my ginger bug once a day. I've decided to call her Gally, like Ginger Spice, the best one in Spice Girls. So now we are ready to do the ginger beer. So we're taking a bit more ginger, more water, mixing it all together with some sugar and some lemon, and then poof, putting it in bottles, and ta-da, we will have ginger beer. So I'm following this recipe by Joshua Weissman. He has a really good YouTube channel that I will link down below, and I'm following his recipe. And now I will basically just take water and ginger and sugar and boil it to simmer it for about 5 to 8 minutes according to his instructions. And then it has to cool to room temperature, and I think that's where my last batch failed, because I didn't let it cool. I just mixed it all together and therefore the bacteria in the ginger bug that I had previously done kind of just... So, you learn from your mistakes, as we say in the Scouts, learning by doing. I will now follow the proper instructions and actually let it cool down before I mix it. So, I will need 54 grams of ginger. I need more ginger than that. 66. I like it gingery, so it's not an issue that it's too much ginger, you know. And then rinse it a bit. And as I said, since it's organic, there is actual no need to peel it. You can use it with the peel as well. There's quite a lot of taste in it as well. And as per usual, one should be careful so you don't end up grating your fingers. That is not a very nice thing to do. It hurts and then you get blood all over whatever you're grating, and your guests probably won't enjoy this. Or, you know, maybe they will if they're vampires, but maybe you'll just... I mean, there's the easiest way to serve a vampire than to grate your fingers on a grater. This is... So I put on makeup today, isn't it nice? I got a new lipstick. Yes, adults. There you go. And I'm not wearing an apron today. I shall fix it. Yeah. You should wear aprons. One, because they hella cute, and two, they also, you know, cover your clothes in case of splatter and such. Maybe ginger isn't the most splattering thing of else, but still. No, it's fine, it's fine. I thought I grated myself in the finger. As per previous thing that I said I shouldn't be doing. So gingery. So nice. Bloop. Bloop, bloop. Oh, I have a bit of paper cup right here. And I got ginger in it. Ooh, that was not nice. Oh no. There you go. And then I need. So I don't want that much sugar, and as Joshua says in his notes, I can make it less sweet, so I don't need to have the whole 110 grams. I can use a bit less. So I will probably use, I would say the lowest you can go on sugar is half a cup, but it says half a cup. No, I'm checking the whole. So lesson number 1 when you're cooking, read the instructions correctly. If you can't read, get a friend that can read. There you go. So I will probably use 180 grams. I definitely know where everything is in my kitchen, which is a bit more than half a cup. Not that that tells me anything, because I don't know how much half a cup is. I've been using so much sugar lately, and it's not even from baking, it's just from all the fermenting that we're doing in our household. There you go. And then 2 quarts of filtered water. And sure, I definitely don't know how much a quart is, but I've googled and I know it's almost 2 liters of water. And there it's 1 liter. And that's 9 deciliters, which is more or less whatever 2 quarts are in deciliters. So, you know, it isn't a science. And then you put this on the stove and you let it simmer for 5 to 8 minutes, and then you let it cool. Very important. And I will get back to you when that is done. Bye. So it's the next day because I did the ginger sugar and water concoction quite late in the evening, and then I played D&D, so it got so late, and it was still hot when I went to bed. So it's the next day. This is proper room temperature, and now we just mix it all together and put it in bottles. So first step is to strain this. There you go. Smells gingery. Oh, good. Why was the bottom of my pan oily? Anywho. And you want to make sure to squeeze the ginger stuff here, because that's where all the goodness is. Then you can add juice of lemons. It is optional. I will do that because I enjoy it. Actually, I can. Yeah. So buff, so strong. Oh, I still got the paper cut on my finger, and it hurts when you get lemon juice in it. That was not very pleasant. And then the carbonation of the drink will happen at this stage. So after we'll put it oh my god, it's this thing. After you put it in the bottles, that's when the fermentation and the carbonation happens. Hopefully, if I've done this right, which I guess we'll find out in 2 or 3 days. I pull paper cut. And then you take, how much is it? Half a cup of strained ginger bug liquid. So you need this. Let's get it away. Yes, of course. It is strained and it will take more space with all the bits in it. So I have to strain it before I measure it. I'm so clever sometimes. And a bit more. There you go. This goes in here. And then you just mix it all together. Yes, I'm using a knife. And then you just pour it into bottles. Oops. Make sure to use bottles that can handle a bit of pressure, since it's going to release gas and such. Some bottles aren't made for that, so they will break. Or, make sure to keep the bottles in a plastic baggie so that in case they do break, you don't get ginger beer and glass everywhere. Hey. And make sure to leave a bit of headroom as well for the gases. And it's good. Isn't this a lovely color? See, so much gingerness. Yes. As if this household wasn't ginger enough. Ah. Yep. It's a bit shy. There you go. And there you go. 2 liters of ginger beer. So it has now been a week. So we'll see if it worked. As you maybe can see, there is actually some bubbles here, kind of. So hopefully this worked. We shall see.
Yep.
Did you hear that? Oh, you can actually see a little bit of bubbles. And now to the taste. Very refreshing. Would be very nice with some mint. So I will call this a success, and I hope you like this. And comment if you like, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one.